NFT bear market is finally here. The prices for blue chips and everything else is starting to go down. And for some people, you might be a little shook, a little scared about what happens next. But for others, if you have some ETH saved up, this is a perfect opportunity to get a little bit more aggressive and buy those great NFT projects while they are at a discount. So the first thing we're gonna talk about is gonna be metas, right? So in NFTs, there's always gonna be a meta, some type of play or some type of trend that's gonna be more popular. So a couple weeks ago, it was all about the waifu anime trend. And then now what I think is gonna happen is that the anime trend is gonna die down and people are gonna move towards more utility, specifically play to earn idle games. So the project that we are going to be looking at first to explain this play to earn idle game mechanic is going to be Cyberkongz. So essentially when you're buying a Cyberkong, right, you're buying a picture, you're buying utility, meaning you're getting access to a special private group called Wall Street Kongs where people, share information. So as the NFT space gets more crowded and you get all these different pictures of cats, Kongs, apes, whatever it is, people are gonna ask for more. They're gonna say, okay, I got this expensive picture, but what's gonna make it different? And this is where play to earn really comes into play, especially when it comes to idle games. So what Cyberkongz did is that on top of everything that they're building, on top of the VX model that they're gonna be using in the sandbox, they created their own separate game, separate from the sandbox, and it's called Play and Collect with a K. So essentially what you're gonna be able to do is you're going to be able to use your Cyberkong VX and use them to go on missions to earn these type of materials, which can be worth $1 amount, and you can also earn bananas, which you can trade into Ethereum, into US dollars, or whatever currency you prefer. So here is how it works. Everybody's looking for that yield, that passive income for holding an NFT. So if you know about Cyberkongz, you know the Genesis produces bananas. Now the babies are going to produce these shards, which can be used in the game. And all these shards really are power-ups, right? And then from there, the VX models are the things that you're gonna send on the mission, and they're gonna go out, collect bananas and different materials and bring it back, and they're gonna use these power-ups from the babies and get powered up to go on their missions to collect more things. Why this is gonna be important is because number one, play to earn is gonna be the trend for 2022, right? Everybody's gonna wanna make money while playing a game. Number two, this game is an idle game, meaning you don't have to sit there and grind for hours to earn money. You literally just like set it up and let your monkeys do their thing and they just bring you money back, right? And this is really good because you only have to focus on the strategy part of things. You don't actually have to spend any hours playing an actual game. And that's what people want, right? They wanna make money without doing anything. This is the trend for 2022. So for Cyberkongz, the floor price is gonna be 9 ETH for a baby. And again, the baby is the one that produces these shards that are power-ups, and these shards are gonna be worth something when the game comes out in the next week or two or month. It's coming out very soon. So I actually bought a baby when it was like 7.5 a week ago. And right now it's 9, it's probably gonna keep pumping. I'm not saying it's a good time to buy right now, but I wanna give you my mindset of why I bought it at 7.5 ETH before everyone else was talking about it. So what happened is that in February, when the news came out that this play to collect game was coming out, the price of a baby went all the way to 11, 12 ETH, right? So it pumped from, let's say like 4 ETH in December or January actually, then it went all the way to like 11. So that's like 2 to 3x. So what naturally is gonna happen when something pumps up so much because of hype, it's gonna drop like a rock, right? And so it dropped down, all the way to 6.5. So 6.5 was about where it kind of like floored out, and that's where people were willing to buy. And I saw there wasn't much volume for Cyberkong babies. Everybody was talking about Karafuru at the time, and nobody was talking about babies. I was like, this is the perfect time to buy a baby because the game's gonna come out, there's no volume, nobody's talking about it, this is pretty much the floor, right? And so that's why I decided to buy a baby at 7.5. And then after the hype of Karafuru kind of went down, everyone's like, oh, let's take profit on Karafuru and all the other stuff that we, we're investing in, and let's move it back into blue chips. And so everyone's like, oh, the play and collect is gonna be so good. We're gonna do play to earn, we're gonna make money, passive income, right? And what happens is that the price pumps because that narrative suddenly comes back into play. So it's basically the same narrative that was happening just a couple weeks ago, but then if you time it right, you buy the thing when nobody cares about it, nobody's talking about it, and then you just wait a couple days and suddenly everyone's talking about it, and that's how you stay ahead of the curve. And it's a similar thing with the VX model. They kind of do go hand in hand, where when the baby pumps, the VX pumps as well, and they kind of, related projects. I have a bunch of these already that I bought from like less than 1 ETH to like 1.5, 1.8, and I recently bought another one for 2.2 ETH just the other day. Right now it's like 2.57, but essentially it's the same type of mentality, right? You wanna buy these things when you know it's a good project, you know they're building something good for the long term, nobody's talking about them, the volume is low, that's when you're gonna buy it for the cheapest price. And then suddenly when people start realizing again that the narrative's coming back, well, everyone's gonna FOMO back into it, and that's when the price pumps again. And of course, if you wanna time it, if you wanna be like, okay, the price is pumping, I wanna sell it, great. But I'm just trying to show you my mindset when it comes to finding these entry prices for these blue chip projects when other people aren't talking about it, because that is usually the best time to buy. So on the topic of PFP and play to earn, we're gonna talk about another project called Bear Deluxe. They took a lot of inspiration from Cyberkongz, definitely, when it comes to like the utility and the art style and things like that. So essentially Bear Deluxe, similar to Cyberkongz, they got an alpha group, they're trying to do play to earn, they got a token. What I like about them is they have a really strong community, and it seems like from what the developers are doing, they're building for the long term, right? So when we look at the floor price, right? Back in January 6th, the floor was maybe like 2.45 for one of these bears, and then it kind of just dropped to 1.7, 1.35, went back up to 1.8, and then now it kind of dropped again to like the 1.3, 1.4 area. So this is good because, it dropped significantly. They got a team that's building for the long term, and they have a really strong community. So when you're popping into the Discord, like people are in like voice chat all the time, the chat's always active, people are sharing alpha. Building that type of community is pretty difficult in general, right? In some cases, some people would say that Bear Deluxe is underrated, right? Granted that I think the reason why they pumped so much, back in early January was because they had a lot of people pushing it on Twitter. You had a lot of like athletes promoting it, buying it, and they would seed these bears to certain people to get people talking. And I think it kind of artificially created the hype. In my opinion, I could be wrong. And then from there, the price went down because, hype can only sustain, but because they have a community, I think the price is kind of stable at like that 1.3, 1.4, and they are building VX models, just similar to Cyberkongz, and they are building arcade games. The thing that kind of got me worried was when they released an arcade game. So like these are supposed to be like game developers, right? Experienced game developers, and then they put out these arcade games on their website for people to play. I guess they did take it down from their website, but the games weren't that great, to be honest, right? They just weren't that fun. They kind of didn't move that well. So I was like, that's kind of weird that, a game developer will make a game that is not super great and they would kind of put it out there into the world. And so that's why I was a little shaky on it. But, if we kind of take that aside, we look at, the community is strong, and I can see them creating another narrative, seeding the more bears to more athletes and getting the price to pump. And I'm sure they have more news about the VX model and things like that. So, there's definitely potential there, especially if the price did just drop, but always do your own research. All right, so the next project we're gonna be talking about is going to be Nanopass. So Nanopass, the price is gonna be like 1.66. Ideally, I would wait for this to go even lower if possible, because I think 1.66 is a little pumped relative to where it was before. Why I'm bullish on Nanopass, and again, like you gotta watch your entry and exit, is because they're coming out with picture profile project. They're integrating artificial intelligence, meaning like, you can talk to an AI, and I think that's gonna be like a trend in the meta coming up in the next few months. So I think they can create a really strong story, a really strong narrative. From my understanding, the Nanopass, they create these black boxes where you have a chance to get these shards, and then the shards can be used to upgrade your picture profile project. So then they're thinking about putting out in the future, I think it's coming out either this month or the next month, it's gonna be hot. Then you're gonna need the shards to upgrade your thing, right? If you need the shards, then everyone's gonna wanna buy the black boxes. So what they're doing is kind of smart, where they're integrating phase 1 and phase 2 together, where it's not like, oh, you bought this thing and now I'm gonna sell you another thing. It's more like, I'm gonna sell you another thing, but you need this first one to make it more valuable. They're really good at connecting everything together. And so, if the price does drop, I think it is a pretty decent buy. The other thing is like, there is kind of that passive income earning mechanic or yield where, if you just hold it, you do get stuff over time, and it's by random chance, but you don't have to do anything, and then your NFT can earn over time and you can use that somewhere else. So we're seeing that play to earn kind of style, and I do believe they're gonna create a token in the future. So they're also gonna go into that play to earn route, probably the idle game style like everyone is doing, just like Bear Deluxe is doing it, by the way. They have a token, Cyberkongz is doing it, Nanopass is probably gonna do it. And so all these projects are eventually going to do it because they're gonna be forced to, because that's gonna be that normal expectations probably a couple months from now. And by the way, if you wanna get these calls in real time or even win whitelist giveaways, make sure you follow me on Twitter at Patrick Day. Next project we're gonna be looking at is going to be Fox Fam. So Fox Fam has been sitting at 0.5-ish ETH for quite a while now. Not a lot of hype going into it, but I can see them building quite a bit. In some ways, some people might say it's underrated. If you think about it, it's kind of like a Cool Cats, but they have really good 3D art. So some updates since the last time I talked about them. They got these 3D models looking pretty good. One of the best in my opinion for a picture profile project. They're doing 3D avatars, which you're gonna be able to mint, right? If you kind of look at the roadmap, they did the 2D one already done. They're doing a token, right? Again, play to earn is gonna be a very big thing in 2022, and everyone's gonna have a token. They got pixel foxes, right? So I'm gonna show you this in a second. So they have 2D pixel foxes, they have voxel foxes. It's like a 3D pixel essentially. So if you kind of look at some of the image that they've been posting, basically what the play is like, they're trying to be a IP. So it's not enough just to create a voxel and put it into Sandbox. why not have your avatar be represented in all these different metaverses? So let's say they create a 2D pixel fox. Well, let's just put this into the World Wide Web. If they have a voxel character, they can put it into the sandbox. If they have a 3D model, they can use it in, let's say, a different game, for example. So a lot of applications to this, and it's not easy to build all these things and have them work pretty well and like to rig the 3D models. So it's a team that's constantly building. They worked with a lot of big deal like MTV, Nickelodeon, like those kind of brands in the past. The only risk I would say for this particular project is that they're really good at creating digital assets, but they haven't proved to be able to create, let's say, a good game, which is something they want to do, to have good tokenomics. Basically all like the NFT Web3 kind of aspects of the game. We haven't seen much execution on there yet, just promises, but we've just seen a lot of great promises or a lot of good execution when it comes to creating those 3D assets. So that's gonna be the risk, but they have good assets, so if they have the right people in place, I'm sure they can probably figure it out. So the next project we're gonna be talking about is Karafuru. So this one was extremely hyped just like a week ago, right? The price of this was getting to like 5, 6 ETH, and then suddenly the hype kind of died down, so now the floor is gonna be like 3 ETH, right? I mean, personally for me, when I looked at the art after the review, it was actually pretty strong. You know, one of the stronger projects that I've seen in the game. And from my understanding, it already has like successful entrepreneur who is doing this project. So it's not like a random person doing it. It's actually like a real legit business person getting into NFT. So that's something I can respect. Why I kind of bring this project up right now is because the price is dropping, right? And so when the price dips so hard from like 5 to 6 ETH and it goes to 3, those are times to be considering like, okay, is it a good time to buy? Is this a team that's gonna build a long-term? Are they gonna have different narratives coming up in the next few months that will pump the price up in the future? And from my understanding, they probably will. They say they have 2 big partnerships coming up in the next few months, rumored to be one of them Atmos, which is a Japanese like sneaker retailer and streetwear retailer. The other one is unknown. You know, I would be paying attention to this if it's in your price range, seeing how far the price can really drop, watching the volume to see when it's like completely dead and like no one's really buying it, nobody's talking about it, but the price is like consistently at a certain thing, like maybe it's like 2 ETH, for example. And then if you know that there's news coming out or they hinted it here and there on the Discord, maybe that's the time to buy, right? Just like we talked about in the beginning with Cyberkongz, I bought one at 7.5 just a couple days ago because nobody was really talking about it, but I knew there was big news coming up and it's public information. It wasn't in that crypto Twitter narrative. And so that's what you want to be paying attention to. So any of these projects that I'm talking about, when they're kind of dead, but there's some really big news coming up, that's kind of the opportunity to like get in there when nobody's talking about it, especially during a bear when people are kind of afraid to spend money. And so that said, those are going to be some of the projects that I am looking at during this NFT bear, and I'll see you guys in the next one.